Tony Hawkins has got a podcast. I hope he's better at this than he is washing the kit because he was fucking useless.
24.
Is it?
Is it 24?
You want to start again?
Is it 24 or 25? I'm not quite sure. 24?
24.
24.
Let's go for 24.
24 it is. Not a lot's happened the last week or so.
I'm going to change. I'm not keen on these lights, Tony. You keep talking.
You keep talking. So we have a guest tonight as
That's better.
as per our email last week. Artem's here.
Yeah, well, thanks for having me on. Really excited. I've never done anything like this before. But,
That's all right. Don't worry about it.
I'm happy to make my debut, so yeah,
Good.
really excited.
I've got a joke for you.
Oh, go on.
An Englishman, a Scotsman and an Irishman walk into a podcast studio.
And nothing happens.
And nothing happens. No. And no one laughed.
Tumbleweed.
Yeah. So one game
One game.
to talk about. Obviously Sunderland at home, which is precisely the reason Artem's here.
Guys,
To give us his take on it. So we just hand
did
it
you do
over.
your thing?
Yes, I did my thing. So as part of my birthday present, I got the celebration package,
Lovely.
which involved me going up to the director's box to
Yeah.
watch the game from the balcony, which was quite a nice experience. It started off with a stadium tour, so we went downstairs near the changing rooms,
Yeah.
saw the weights room, etc., saw the tunnel, went out onto the pitch. It was quite funny, as we were standing outside the changing rooms, where the door to the weights room was open, and who do we see? Jordan Barrowby. So
Yeah.
I thought, Christ, is still around.
Christ, hope he's
Well,
not
got to
starting
keep-
this.
he's got to keep fit, hasn't he?
Yeah. So yeah, did that, then went up, had a 3-course meal up in the Beachside restaurant, which is lovely.
You had a 3-course meal up there, Tom?
I have, yes.
Nice, is it?
It was. It didn't arrive for. It was an hour and a half late, but yeah, it was nice. It was very nice.
Yeah, the food was nice. It was quite busy as well. I didn't think it would be that busy, but yeah, it was quite full.
Was it busy, really? I'm surprised.
It was actually. Club
It would have
Red.
been busy for
Club
that,
Red
wouldn't it, I
was
suppose?
packed. It took me 20 minutes and visiting 2 different bars to get served.
And you are well-known
was
face about Milton Keynes Dons as well.
Exactly. You know, I've got a big sign on my head. Do you know who I am?
Do you in some waters and a bloke you don't know who he is?
Nothing. So it's a lot easier to get one up there.
Yeah, so it was good as well because I sit in Club Red, just literally 3 rows from the front. So it was good to see a game in a completely different from a different angle. Because normally it's obviously pitch side when I watch it week in, week out, but it was good to see the shape and the formations and that from high up. So it was quite a good day. And then went to TGI Fridays for dinner and stayed over in the hotel as well. So
Did
it
you
was
really?
yeah,
I
it
had
was
a day
really
of
good
it.
day.
That's
Made
sounds
a whole
alright.
day of it.
Yeah, it was
Excellent.
nice.
That's what we like to hear.
My dog died, that's what I did Saturday
Yeah, his
night.
dog died. Yeah.
Oh dear.
Not the one he was expecting.
No.
Neither. So.
I think you had the better deal of Saturday night, if I'm being honest with you. So what can you do?
So what did you think of the game then?
Yeah, football-wise, I think it was as a spectacle. I think it wasn't great from an entertainment point of view, but I think from a performance point of view, it was really good. I think it was again a game of 2 halves. Really, I think first half we dominated. To be fair, I think Sunderland were probably one of the best defensive sides I've seen all season. I mean, there just wasn't a single mistake in them. I think again, first half we dominated the game. We looked really strong, particularly with Gilby being out. I think Kasumi when he came in, I mean he played quite well. He wasn't up to scratch in the last few games, but I think Saturday he was all right.
Took me nearly 10 minutes to realise Gilby wasn't on, and
Yes.
David. That was only because Mum said, "Is that David?" I said, "No, it can't be. He's not playing."
Yeah. The thing I find a bit sort of worrying at the minute is obviously we dominate the games, but then we just cannot find the last bit of quality to create a clear-cut chance. And it felt really frustrating because for the first half, I mean, we really made them look average at best, and we controlled the game. But as we get to the sort of to the box, we just didn't have any options. Didn't have that creativity.
And that's what the stats show, and it is almost a little bit of a throwback to 5-6 years ago. Again, where particularly home games, where we would play round teams and have all the ball, but no, nothing in the last third. Like the occasional shot would be nice, that sort of thing. But it's missing the goals. We know that. And once the goals start arriving, we'll be fine. But it's now the middle of January. And I'm not saying that we're going to get relegated because I still don't think.
I still think we'll get out of it, but
will
it'll be
all right.
tight.
But I don't think it will be as a result of our excellent football necessarily at this point. It might be more to do with other teams
Being shit.
falling at the last hurdle sort of thing.
Hopefully. I'll take that every day of the week.
Yes, indeed.
As long as one of them's Wimbledon.
Well, that's the other thing. They went. Did they go above us again?
Beat
or
Peterborough.
They beat Peterborough 1-0.
Peterborough,
Right.
yeah.
Trent
Who then beat
Peterborough hate us.
who then
Do you
beat
know that?
Wickham 4-0 last night.
Oh, they hate us, Peterborough, don't they? They hate us.
Don't know why.
Deliberately lost to
Yeah.
AFC. Anyway.
The one thing is I was kind of a little bit disappointed with, I would have liked to see Nombe starting ahead of Mason, because I thought it would have been a perfect game for Nombe. I know he's a bit similar to Morris, however, I think, Sunderland being so organised, it could have done with him pestering their defence all
Yeah,
night.
I like that.
And I think
about
Mason,
Sam.
and Mason, to be fair, he had some really nice touches. He's a really tidy footballer, but I just
Tones,
think from a
come on,
physicality
look.
point of view,
Yeah.
just wasn't up to
I
scratch.
think Mason, since Sam's come back and Healy's come back and the new boys signed,
Who?
he's gone a bit quiet because
Who
for
was?
me, Mason
Yeah,
was
yeah.
the saviour, wasn't he? I said before Christmas,
We
I
forgot
think
all about him that other time.
I said him and Sam are going to be the big thing. I said, but Mason's going to be the man. He's the one that's going to score the goals to keep us up. He's been really quiet the last 3 games.
Speaking of
That's
it
right.
being
Played
quiet,
well. He's played well, but he's not had the impact that he's had in previous games.
speaking of it being quiet,
Yeah.
how quiet were there? 5,000 fans?
Whoa! This is the
I
thing.
think it's credit to us, to be fair.
So someone said that it looked nothing like 5,000. I did a quick sort of count up.
You count every head.
Pretty much, yeah. But I had the advantage of knowing what had been sold. That
Right.
probably helped.
Well, that does help.
But they basically sold less than 1,000 on the day.
On
I
the
think.
day, really?
Yeah.
It's probably
Now,
that thing again we were saying last week,
I
isn't
got,
it?
I got into the box office about 11:30, and for instance, when Portsmouth came, it was just an endless stream of Portsmouth fans buying for the way in. But then I probably served 5-6 Sunderland fans.
I
and
thought they
that
were-
was it. They were incredibly quiet, though. Incredibly quiet. I mean, it's quite difficult to be that quiet when there's
Yeah,
5,000
they've got-
of you.
They are, well, I said to you earlier, or I listened to their podcast when I was walking the dogs tonight,
Yeah.
and they are got a sense of entitlement about
Well, the
them
other
that
thing is, right,
astonishing.
they're
you know?
shouting and screaming about their away attendances, right? So, I don't know, you're in League One.
I know.
You're
This is what they
Sunderland
said.
and in League One. It's like us going to playing in the Conference North
and
and
thinking-
screaming about our
Yeah.
crowds.
That we're too
You know,
big for it.
you should be embarrassed about being in League One,
Well,
not boasting about.
I
the
am
crowds.
somewhat disappointed by their podcast because most people, except for me and you, Tony, don't know that they wanted us to go on their podcast last
week, yeah.
but we
You've
couldn't
been on
do
it
it.
before, haven't you?
We have,
Yeah.
yeah. They wanted us on again, but they've changed how they do it now, and they wanted to do it during the day by phone.
Yeah,
Rather
which is
than saying,
weird.
well,
for
no, we
a
can't
start.
do that. We can do it at 8 o'clock at night, but we can't do it during the day. So we were going back and forward, and then when I said, well, I can't, then I said, I'll do it. Here's my number, but I can only do it at 8 o'clock at night. And I've not heard from them since. So I thought to myself, I'll listen to their podcast. So I went on it, and there's one that's an hour and a half. I thought, I'm not listening to that. That's far too long. But there was another one they did on the day, last Saturday, that was 18 minutes. I thought, perfect. So I listened to it. And do you want the highlights tonight?
Yeah, go on.
The highlights are, well, first of all, they've got a blog post, haven't they? They've got a website for that podcast.
Yeah.
So they've done a blog, and it was entitled, Tony, that we were a made-up team from a made-up town.
Oh,
I thought it was quite funny.
So
I must admit.
I've read their. Oh, so they did the fans guide
yes,
as well,
they did,
which is
yeah.
brilliant. Well, I've got extracts from that, so you
Right,
do
you've
your
done
bit,
that.
and then I'll do my bit.
Then they got to the actual podcast themselves. So it was two blokes, and they were just interviewing a load of twats that had turned up.
Yeah.
And apparently, Tony, Milton Keynes is a shithole. Which is good coming from guys from Sunderland, but it is what it is.
Right, yeah, well, we're used to that.
One of them genuinely did say that they shouldn't be playing MK Dons teams like us. So I think, well, there's a sense of entitlement because you guys think you're too big. And I thought to myself when I was listening, have you watched that Sunderland documentary, mate? Because you're in this shit state because you're shit, you know? It wasn't, 2 or 3 weeks ago, Tony, they were a mid-table League One side.
Well, I mentioned to someone about them boasting about the crowds, and they said, and I think they summed it up perfectly. They simply said, "That's all they've got. That's it."
Just a load of
that's
shit.
it. All they've got is to boast about their crowds when they're in League One.
Yeah.
It really does. It shouldn't annoy me as much as it does, but you're in League One, Sunderland.
There's a bit of a sense
Get
of
fucking
irony
grip.
that I thought to myself, you're you're slagging us off for being in League One and being, and they thought we were a very poor side, which I genuinely didn't think we were.
What really annoyed me as well is how they celebrated that goal. It was like they won a cup final.
Yeah, exactly.
It was a testament to how well we played, because I think before the game they were on social media saying how they're going to thrash us, and then when they came after the first half, when I heard even some of the players were arguing in the tunnel because they were getting frustrated.
Well, I don't know who said it, but it might have been Toby or someone else, but said that the Sunderland players are arguing with each other on the pitch as well. So that is born out of frustration from going out and thinking that you're going to stuff someone, and it turns out actually they're not too bad. It's certainly better than the last time we played them. And yeah, it's just, I mean, those are the games I hate losing the most, not because of the points you've lost or anything like that, but just because you get that shitty, they automatically get the moral high ground, and you're only saying that because you're lost. And
I genuinely didn't think that they were. I thought they were exactly as I thought they were going to be.
Well, I think that's
not very good, to be quite honest.
For them, apparently, it's a great improvement. I mean,
apparently, listening to that podcast,
it's a great improvement. I mean, they're probably on the same pathway as us, but obviously a few places higher up.
Same thing, yeah.
But even the first time you guys were on the podcast, I remember they were actually saying that they didn't feel confident about winning the game.
Yeah.
No,
which at the time I found quite strange, because obviously it was like 6 games into the season, or something like that, and they were obviously the favourites to
I think their confidence took a real kicking last year when they didn't go straight back
Well, they
up.
thought they were going straight back up. The club thought they were going straight back up. The fans thought that. It's always the same. How many times have we seen it where a big team, like, I mean, Sunderland aren't the biggest of the big that have been down there, but, you know, teams like Southampton always made me laugh.
When they come down, that was a blow for them. But they were down for 2 years.
But they then boasting about winning League One and the Johnston's paint. And I'm thinking, well, we did that as a League Two club, right? And yes, you're Southampton, mate. There is nothing to boast about there.
Won the Johnston's paint trophy.
Yeah, that's
well
like
done,
you.
mate.
That's like you entering the under-13s Shield on a Sunday morning.
Before you know where you are, you're getting beaten 9-0.
Yeah, exactly. I've got an extract.
Just before we go any further,
yeah.
They also, 2 or 3 of them, when they were interviewing these blokes at half time in that podcast, 2 or 3 of them did bring up that they thought that Louis should have been sent off in the first half for a really bad tackle. I don't remember that. Not at all. I remember Kasumo doing a horrendous tackle again, but I don't remember Louis' bad tackle.
Louis would have been on our side there. Would he have been on my side?
Do you remember it?
I know there was a heavy one. There was a heavy one, but
Louis.
No one batted an eyelid. No,
I think Kasuma's was the ones what they kicked off. But even Kasuma's tackle, it was definitely yellow. But I think he won the ball. I think.
Well, this is it. We were saying at the time, either that Kasumu tackle has got to be a red card, or nothing, because he's played the ball. And then you could argue there was intent.
You can get that
right.
Intent,
so if there was intent, it's still a red card. You can't yellow card someone for intent. You can yellow card someone for a particular type of foul, or pulling a shirt.
We said
or
it last
like that.
week, and
but
we're saying
you can't
it again this
not
week.
Send him off if it's for intent, because he's either played the ball or he hasn't.
He's enthusiastic, but he needs to calm down a little bit.
He does, yeah.
He needs to stop flying into things like that. But that'll come. He's young, isn't he?
Yeah, but saying that, Jordan Houghton has been doing that affair. Alex Gilby up till Christmas.
He's no David Kasumu,
was an absolute liability some of the time. It reminded me of
Ross.
Samir Carruthers.
Oh, I thought you meant
Ross.
Ross.
And Ross. That fucking idiot.
Have you been following his things this week?
No, is it snow? Is there snow coming?
No.
No, all right.
Referees really frustrate me at this level as well, because
that's another problem.
That's the thing. I reckon the only reason he gave the yellow cards because some of the players were all over him, and I think the only reason he gave the card was because he felt it was a bit of a rash challenge.
It was,
but he still won the ball, which is why it wasn't a red. So I agree with Tony. He should have been a red, or.
No, I genuinely think a yellow.
Because
he got away with it.
If he's played the ball, because you can play the ball and take the man out with intent. Because back in the day, it used to be make sure you take the ball and the man. That's
not now, though.
Not now. You can still take the ball and the man, but you can't take him out with intent to harm or hurt. So that was a red card or nothing, and the referee basically bottled it.
Also, what they said was, and I can see from their point of view that they're not used to this standard of referee in Sunderland. Or their fans aren't, because obviously the majority of their team are League
they
One
won't
players,
be. And
but they're not used to it, and that I think that that's what they're finding hard to adjust to, is this level of shitness that you get from the officials.
Well, also that they will have realised, well, certainly last season, not so much this season, but when they go and play teams, yeah, you might be much better, you might have the better players, but they're going to make it, other teams are going to make it as difficult as fucking possible to stop you playing football. And that's not just Sunderland, that's for teams like Peterborough get it. We get it all the time, especially at home. We have done for years because of the style of football we play. Not so much this season because teams have been coming to us, home and away, and thinking they're going to beat us, and generally
9 times out of 10
and
they
generally
have.
Let me read you this because this is.
It's just
So
their thing.
I like to read the fan guides that
Oh,
are
go on.
written by the other fans,
right.
Because they're generally really, really poorly
They slagged
written.
the stadium off because it was getting slagged off on that podcast.
Oh, they did call it a identikit stadium.
They
or something
liked
like
the
that.
stadium.
If there's one thing our stadium is, it is not an identikit stadium. Sunderland's is,
They liked
Leicester's
the
is,
stadium.
Cardiff, Swansea, all of those.
But they didn't like where it was. They thought, this guy kept saying it's in the
It's
middle
in the
of a
middle of
shopping
nowhere.
centre.
Yeah.
Which it
So
is.
apparently, for the uninformed,
I'm
it
ready,
says
go,
here, for the
go.
uninformed,
Uninformed,
it's
go.
their words, not mine, for the
Yours.
uninformed,
Go.
Stadium MK is located in the leafy Buckinghamshire suburb of Bletchley.
Fucking hell, he's never been before,
I don't
has he?
think Bletchley's ever been described as
Leafy? God
No.
almighty, mate.
Located in the leafy Buckinghamshire
look.
suburb of Bletchley, neatly sandwiched, I think that's supposed to say sandwiched,
Okay.
neatly sandwiched between an Asda and an IKEA.
Well,
So it's moved.
Moved then.
It's moved.
Well, it's moved before, isn't it?
It's been all over the
Yeah,
place, let's
been
be honest.
everywhere.
It's been in front of the Asda, it's been behind it. So yeah, apparently they think it's sandwiched between Asda and
well,
IKEA.
good luck to 'em.
Then, if you get in the train, right, and you
Right,
get off
okay.
at CMK,
Right.
don't order a taxi, you stupid fool, to get to the stadium,
Oh, really?
because it's 4 miles away.
Jesus.
It's not.
4
It's not
miles,
4
that.
miles. It's 3 miles.
Is
So
it really?
they're suggesting
I'm
it's 3
surprised.
miles. Yeah, almost to the yard.
Well, I don't know that.
And Bletchley is 1.5, almost to the yard.
I know Milton Keynes is exactly 9 miles across from the
Yeah.
A5D.
Everything's in perfect sort
miles.
of numbers.
It's like a grid
So
system, isn't it?
their suggestion is right. If you get off at CMK,
Right, I'm ready. I'm doing it now. I've got.
don't shell out for a taxi,
Okay.
you fool.
Right. Okay.
Get the train from CMK to Bletchley, which, to be fair, is £5 return, pretty much, right? Because
Cheaper than a
then
taxi, isn't it?
it says only 2 miles from Bletchley train station. It's actually 1.5 miles. So by the time you've got your train and ordered your taxi back to the stadium, or gone for the how long is a 1.5 miles going to take you to walk? A
20
good
minutes.
25 minutes, 25 minutes, yeah. So you're going to have to leave the pub at plus also you don't know what pub you're going to be in because you might be in Fenny Stratford, but you've got to get from Bletchley train station to a pub and then to the stadium.
I'll be honest with you, Tony.
So yeah, they're
and I'm
by
not
the
a
way-
man to stereotype, but these blokes are not the sharpest tools in the book.
But the thing is, you get the train from CMK to Bletchley, and
Okay.
you actually pass within 20 yards of the stadium whilst you're doing it.
Oh, good. I hope they looked out the window when they were doing it.
Yeah, aren't we supposed to be there? Yeah, don't worry.
I was a
about
bit disappointed with that because when we were on their podcast, like you say, I thought that guy was genuinely he
was
wasn't on it.
clearly
That
just
bloke.
being nice, wasn't it? Was
But
he not? Oh,
it
right.
just turns out that like basically they're like everyone else.
They do turn into absolute fucking
No, they
arseholes
just-
when they talk about us, though, don't they? It's really
Well, good
weird.
luck to them.
So the game, other than, I mean, it wasn't really much of an event, was it? Like you said, it wasn't
No,
wasn't great
it
to
wasn't
watch.
a great spectacle.
Yeah, I mean,
no.
the teams cancelled each other out. I think the second half they came out a lot more sharper, and I think, I mean, I think it was right to take Kasumu off because after that sort of tackle, I think referee came over to have a chat with him, so it was only right. But then when Gladwin came on, I just don't feel Gladwin. I have seen glimpses of some really good stuff from him, like his diagonal balls and his crosses, but I still think he's not much
very
sharp.
rusty, isn't he?
He's very rusty. So I reckon if we would have had Gilby, I reckon it would have been a different second half.
So what do you think? So looking at the front 4 that we've got,
Okay.
so I think it's fair to say that Mason is probably, when he is starting, and we're playing 2 up top, he's definitely going to be a number 10.
Yeah.
That's pretty clear. So are we going to see New Boy plus Sam regularly plus Mason in behind? Or do you think he's always going to go with one or the other?
Who's
I
new
think
boy?
he'll go one or the other.
Morris.
Morris, yeah. Morris.
Well, I
what's his
reckon-
first name? Carlton Morris. Yeah.
He's got to start. I reckon start him.
He's a
every
good player.
time.
He was good. He was good against Coventry. That was his first game, wasn't it? When he came on, and he's got a bit of Chuck Sanike about him. He's a powerful player.
He's strong.
He's a lot bigger than we thought he was.
It's like Chuck's, but without the attitude.
Yeah.
You know, he's
we were
a really
quite
hard
surprised
worker.
when we first seen him how big he was when we went away. But it's difficult to say. Do you
Because if you play
your
Mason
team,
as a
do you
10,
play your team around him?
because if you play Mason as a 10, then chances are Sam's going to be stuck out on the left or the right.
I think
More
he
likely
did
the
well
left.
on the left though before, didn't he? I mean, he
Yeah,
was
I
on
mean,
the
he's,
left.
he's
and
so strong, and
he played
I
through the
think
left when
there's-
we brought him on in Saturday.
yeah, I think there's a lot of goals there. If you do that, then obviously you drop a man from that 4 in the midfield, in the diamond. So what do you do there? I mean, Mason will be the tip of that diamond effectively, but that means you're going to have Gilby and the other new boy
Thompson.
fighting for the second place. That place
Well,
really.
we signed someone else, didn't we?
Yeah.
Louis Thompson.
He didn't look great, did he? Am I thinking of someone else? It's only one game.
I think
He's
it's the
about
same as
10
Brown. I
minutes,
just think he lacks match sharpness. I
Mm.
mean, again,
Yeah.
there's glimpses of quality there,
Mm.
but then he
Okay,
just
it looks
lacks
like he wants the ball, and he, like you say, his distribution looks half decent. But again, we could debate those positions and formations and all that sort of stuff. But when it comes down to it, Russell Martin's got to make that decision, and we've got to sit there and watch it. And if it works straight away, happy days. But I like the fact that we're going to have a little bit of competition again in those positions, particularly up front, because you want players that are scoring goals or capable of scoring goals, and they want to start. Every single player wants to start every single week, but if there's not enough places to accommodate everybody, and that's the hardest decision. Is you've got Mason, you've got Morris, you've got Sam Nombe. Are you going to play those three every week if you can? I'd like to, because I think that's where the goals are going to come, because just Sam's physical, it's just defenders still don't know who he is and aren't setting
That's
up
right.
for him. And who was the lad? Number 3. He was quite small. He absolutely terrified him. I think it was Bristol Rovers, or not Bristol Rovers away. Anyway, Sam came on, and this lad just looked like, oh my fucking lord, what is going on here? I don't know what to do with this kid.
That's a bit like Gillingham when Sam came on in the second half. And
That was it then. He was
he
Dillingham.
literally bullied the
Yeah,
back
I
four.
mean, he did it to Liverpool, didn't he?
That's right. Yeah.
Who did?
He kept bullying their left back.
Yeah. Well, even Klopp was very complimentary at the end of the game,
Yeah.
wasn't he? Had a chat with him. But
Yeah, and on the right hand side, he had a go at Liverpool's right back. Can't remember his name. The something.
Milner.
No, well, Milner was playing left back,
Left back,
technically,
that's right,
wasn't he? But they had that other lad coming in, because Milner spent most of his time in
Scoring
advance.
goals,
of the
Tony.
halfway
That's what
line.
he spent
Yeah,
most of his time
exactly.
doing. Sorry, I was distracted by something else there.
So, talking of new players and players leaving, which we haven't yet.
Go on.
So, no word yet on
Any of the
anything
ones who want to
official
go.
with Bowery or Kieran,
But they weren't on the bench, were
but
they? On
neither
Saturday?
on the bench.
I saw them both in the weights room, so definitely around.
Yeah, well,
Saturday.
also, yeah, they have. That's the thing; they got to stay fit.
Yeah.
I suppose, yeah.
I'm not saying that we have any great influence upon anything that happens to appear from the media or
Okay,
the
go on.
club
Well, us,
itself,
me
but-
and you on this podcast.
Well, after our
I'm ready.
talking about JMT,
You've not got another bollocking, have you?
no, I haven't. No, I haven't actually been bollocked for months. Actually, I'm
No.
quite happy.
We have the upper
No,
game.
they're actually
Tony,
quite
I
happy
reckon.
with me. They're quite happy with me. No, but did you notice that after we questioned JMT's non-appearance
Yes.
in any squads and nothing mentioned about him and so on, the very next day after you released
right.
the podcast, it was JMT really looking forward to returning to the
It's
squad.
almost as if Tony knows what listen to this.
Yeah, it is, isn't it?
Walls have ears.
So I'm not saying that was as a result of us, but
It was.
it was a bit of a coincidence, yeah. So, but no, that's also good because it keeps the fans. It stops the speculation and stupid
Speaking
rumours.
about guys going somewhere,
Yeah.
they-
Talking of which, stupid
Okay.
idiots on the fucking internet. The Facebook group after the Sunderland game was excellent as usual.
I
It's an
didn't have the time
absolute
to
shit
look at
show of twats. It really
It
is.
really is.
Doom and gloom.
I've not looked at that
It's
this
not
week.
just doom and gloom, but it's the way that they say this should be done. We should do this. We should do that. And then when you question them on what they've just said,
Yeah.
they haven't got an answer for it. Like the bloke who said every single player who played on Saturday should be dropped. All right then, who are you going to play then?
Next team, man.
Nothing.
Have you noticed though how we win? How quiet it goes.
They hate winning because they've got nothing to moan about because they don't know how to
We've
deal
said
with.
this.
Explain how we won that game. Well, I can't tell you how we won that, but I'll tell you how we lost against whoever last week.
Yeah.
We've said it time and time again. Like these Facebook groups and like these forums, they're never as busy as when we're doing really badly.
Oh, yeah.
When we're doing all right, or like even though we lost Saturday, we're still on an upward curve, aren't we? But
Yeah.
when we were in the depths of the Tisdale stuff, those Facebook groups and
the Facebook,
forums were
so
just
now it's
meltdown.
calmed down a little bit since Tisdale's gone and Russell's come in and things have got a little bit better and we've got a little bit of stability. There's one name I see keeps popping up.
Tell us it. Let's see it.
I can't remember his name, but I'll show you on the Facebook. But there's one name that keeps popping, and I'm thinking...
Say it, I'll cut it.
I'm thinking
I
either
won't
you
leave it.
are the worst football fan, or you have the least
Or you're
understanding of football,
really good at
or
being
you're
a-
really good wind-up merchant. Because he always replies to people saying, mate, you're a fucking idiot. He always replies to them saying,
he's right there.
well, prove me wrong, or something like that. And I'm thinking... Are you really that stupid, or are you just a really good wind-up? Because I'm a great wind-up merchant.
You are good at it, Tom.
I'm going
I'll let
after the I'm going
Oh, go
after
on, tell
the My Chemical Romance lot next week as
you
well.
know. Oh, I'm not a fan of such
Yes, I-
music, Tony,
well,
as you know.
Could you imagine fucking 40,000 people in the stadium or however many it's going to be, and all their parents sat outside in Volvos
is that what
waiting
it's
for them
involved?
to pick them up?
Is that
Well,
what
they're
it
all
is?
like emos
I
from
don't
the
know it,
90s,
Tony.
aren't they?
It's not my cup of tea, that.
Waiting for their favourite boy band to
I
get
was
back
playing
together.
some music tonight, and when Tony came in, what did you say, Tony, when you came in?
Is that on the right speed?
I was playing Unknown Pleasures by Joy Division. Tony reckons it was at the wrong speed.
That was
It may
definitely
well have
on
been,
the
Tony,
right
to be
speed,
quite
'cause
honest.
I tell you what, if I had a razor blade on me,
I don't
fucking
like
hell.
young people's music, me, Tony.
Well, it's not even young people's music. But no, so Milton Keynes has got a bit of a battering this week because apparently it's an absolute travesty that they're playing their one and only comeback gig in Milton Keynes. Things like, what is Milton Keynes anyway? So
That German heavy metal band there, so their only gig last year, wasn't it?
I know,
Rammstein.
and no one moaned about that. In fact, pretty much half of Europe travelled over to watch it.
I'm not a fan
so-
of their work. I don't know
It
their
was quite
work,
a big
Tony.
spectacle, wasn't it? It was the flares and
Oh, it was
I'm not
mental.
stuff,
I've
wasn't it?
never...
Did you go
ever.
to it? Do you like
Yeah,
heavy metal?
No, I can't stand it. But I'd heard that it was a fantastic
Was it in German?
show. Yes.
Was
all-
subtitles?
It was very much in German.
Was there subtitles?
No,
on the screens.
but at the same time, there was an hour and a half of
Shit.
piano concerto music
Before?
of their songs.
Oh, mate.
Right? 'Cause apparently,
Jesus.
these two women have been playing the Rammstein songs for years on
On
piano.
the Joanna.
Yeah, and that was their...
Like Chaz and Dave.
Yeah, basically they've taken...
A Teutonic Chaz and Dave,
the
Tony.
German
Is that what
Chaz and Dave.
I like? Jesus. I couldn't begin with that.
What's Charles for in German? I don't know, but they've... It was
I
an
can
hour and
count
a
up to
half
10
of
in
these two
German.
women, and I'm thinking...
What, before? They were the support act?
They were the support acts.
Jesus
Yeah.
Christ.
Two playing pianos,
Oh,
Rammstein
no.
songs before, and I'm thinking, am I missing something here? Because this has been
That
going
might
on
well
for
have
like
been
a
them.
very long time. It could have been Chaz and Dave.
God knows.
You'd never know, because they were stuck right in the corner.
Oh, no,
as well.
it's not my cup of tea, that.
So yeah, that's that'll be my next project, is winding them lot up, because they're the original snowflakes as well.
Oh, well, good
With
for them.
emos. And every time I think of them, all I can think of is that video, that YouTube video of emo kids dancing to Thomas the Tank Engine.
Do they still hang about up the point, all those goths? Is that a thing of the past?
There's a handful. It's not as many as it used to be.
Oh.
They did make a comeback, didn't they? The Goths,
Mm.
because you have to remember the distinct difference between the Goths, the emos,
Oh, no, I can't
and the
keep up with
There's no
Grebos.
difference.
And the Grebos.
I'm
Don't
a punk
forget
rocker,
the Grebos.
Tony, that's me.
So
You know what I'm like.
the difference between a goth and an emo is that no one fucking cares.
All right, oh,
Right.
good, oh. Well, you got me with that.
They literally look identical,
All right.
and I'm sure someone.
There must be a nuance,
I'm sure
Tony, you're
someone
not
from our
picking up.
music thread will
Yeah,
probably
don't
put me
worry.
right at this, but no, you're wrong.
Make
You
it
look the
fucking
fucking
fine.
same. And so,
But you know
I
what's
just
going to
think-
happen, Tony?
What?
That's going to mess the pitch up. So there's a
it's
thread there, Tony.
It's 3 days before the first game of the season.
No!
3
Say it
days
isn't.
before the first game of the season. Yeah,
Oh, well, we're not
I have
getting
no
relegated
idea
then.
when it is. I'm presuming
Nah,
it's going to be
might
in
well
July.
Well,
but-
good luck to us.
exactly. So yeah, I'm going after them lot next week.
Good for you.
So we haven't got a game Saturday because Portsmouth are in the FA Cup. Yet another game
Well, that's
weekend
been
missed.
Postponed again, hasn't it?
What,
or
our
something has.
replay?
They progressed, didn't they, in
Yeah.
the cup?
So the replay's been changed again.
Oh, in case they have
Well,
another
not
replay.
the replay, the game that... No, they've gone through in some cup, haven't they?
Was it the car? That's a Carabao. It's
Whatever it was.
leasing the company.
Oh, is they in the semis?
So they've
of
gone
that? Is it semis now?
through. So
Yeah.
the date that it had been changed to is now changed again.
Well, maybe we can play them before My Chemical Romance.
That'd be good.
Yeah, before they ruin the
Maybe
pitch.
we could play them after.
Or after, yeah, either's
Or
good.
during.
Oh, at least we'd have a decent
Tell you
crowd.
what we could do.
We'd have a decent crowd for
You know
once.
what we could do? Instead of having two Germans on the piano, we could play that game on the stage. We could have that guy with the bell in the corner. Hey!
But we'll get the fucking line. We'll get the Portsmouth bell end in.
The top hat.
Yeah, we'll
They
get
can
him
sing
in.
at half time.
We'll get the Newcastle bloke in as well.
Get him in.
Half of Chaz and Dave, because the other half's dead.
Someone could go outside and punch a horse. Oh, that sounds. I tell you
Let's
what,
do it.
that sounds like a
Let's
good
do
night.
it.
That I'm
we
going
could be
to
the,
that.
we'll be the support for
Jesus.
My Chemical Romance.
Yeah,
Us
good.
versus
There you go.
Portsmouth in the game that could never be
There you
played
go then.
because Portsmouth are in every competition. Still.
We have got a game next Tuesday, though. Haven't we?
We got a game next Tuesday
Who's
against
that
Rochdale.
against? Rochdale. Where are they,
Yes.
Tone?
They're struggling big
They
time.
are 2 or 3
they're still
places
below
above
us, aren't
Get
they?
the phone out, Tone.
Get the phone out. This is the preparation
I'm
as
getting
per
mine
usual.
out. See
I
what's
still think
happening.
about it every week. I think
Sit
we should
around.
prepare better and have the
Nah, I
table
don't.
and all that sort of thing, and maybe a whiteboard
No.
with the fixtures and the
I'm
like.
going to put a whiteboard on here.
That's true, actually. You could cover up. Can't cover up a reefer
No.
or
Jimmy Page.
him.
Bob Dylan. Ian
River
Jury.
Sticks, River Sticks bloke.
Ian Jury.
Morrissey, he's a wanker.
Yeah, I could
cover
cover,
him
him up.
Yeah, is that?
Well, we've had this conversation many
yeah,
times.
I never remember
We don't
who
know
they
who
are.
it is.
So, I can't remember what I was looking for. Oh, it was the table, wasn't it? It was the table. Yeah, so Rochdale are still struggling and are still 3 points ahead of
It's a
us.
Tuesday night at home.
And they have a game on hand as well.
Everyone's got a game on hand.
Pretty
I think
much
it's going to be a
everybody's
tricky
got a game in
game,
hand.
I think.
Yeah.
You
Tranmere got 2 games in hand.
We struggle against shit teams, don't we? We play well
I'm
against
confident. I reckon
Yeah,
we'll do
we
them.
say that we played well
stop
against
there,
Sunderland,
stop
we
that.
played well against Coventry, and we played well against.
Wickham.
Bristol.
No, who did we lose
Portsmouth.
to before?
Gillingham. And then Southend, wasn't great.
Oh no, Gillingham wasn't very good, was it? No, but yeah, we played Coventry, we played Southampton, played Rochdale, but we only got 1 point, and that's there's going to come a point where we're still quite happy with the result, the performance on Saturday, and certainly the performance on a decent point at Coventry, but those 1 points out of 6 are going to continue to build and go against us. So we need
Aaron
to
Wilbraham
start.
is still at Rochdale, isn't he?
He is,
Oh,
yes.
He's going strong, isn't he?
Yeah, he's still
Yeah,
going
listen to
strong.
that, yeah.
Is
40
that
years
on the
old.
posh? I listened to that, yeah.
That's good.
It's
isn't
really
it?
good, yeah.
Yeah,
Quite
really
long,
good.
isn't it? It's about 2
Yeah.
hours long, but it's good.
He's
That's
40
good.
years old.
40
He's
years
looked
old.
up- looks
His
after
head's on
himself.
upside down now.
It is, yeah. What is that all about? It looks like that. Do you remember that Remus thing? That was it. Remus, the
on
with
about?
the magnet where you had to move these.
Remember
around.
that?
Yeah.
That's what he's like.
Is it? They turn him upside down and all
Shake it.
his beard will fall
Yeah, I
down.
forgot
So,
about that. That was a
yeah.
good thing, that. You could put glasses and little
I know
moustaches
that was
on
so
them.
much simpler in them days, wasn't it?
Yeah, that was life, Tom.
Yeah,
That was the internet
that
in the
was-
olden days,
That
that,
was,
so.
that was it. There was no.
Forget what that thing's called.
Oh.
Remember that?
I'm sure it was. It wasn't. No, Uncle Remus was the brand of the toy, wasn't it?
Oh, I can't remember.
I think. But yeah, that fella with the
Yeah.
metallic, the
remember
iron
him.
filings beard. Yeah, probably toxic. I'm sure I probably ate
Yeah,
mine.
probably.
Yeah, still
Don't
here though.
open it.
Still here. Yeah. So we have got Rochdale next Tuesday. Then the following Saturday on the 1st, we're at home to Wickham,
They're in free fall, aren't they?
who have continued,
Oh, no.
following my prediction of their demise, then go and another lose again 4-0 last night. So I'm
They
beginning
won
to
Saturday,
think now I
didn't they?
might genuinely be a curse for them.
They won Saturday.
1-0, didn't they?
Yeah, because I was
Yeah.
listening to it.
But they've let in
Real.
some horrendous amount of goals and
Yeah,
not
that's
scored very many in
strange.
that time.
It's just unlike them, isn't it? At the start of the season, they were so solid defensively, and then all of a sudden, just.
Well, they started winning games and
Yeah.
scoring lots and not letting any in, which
Yeah.
is generally a good recipe for being top of the table.
Really strange thing,
But
because
the thing
they
is-
genuinely struggled last year to stay up, and then this year you think,
When you consider they'd lost one game up until, 4 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago?
I mean,
Or
we
when I made
played
that
well
prediction.
against them,
Yeah.
didn't we?
They've
We
lost,
matched them.
they've
didn't
lost 5 games since.
we? Good.
Yeah, we lost was the last kick of the game, wasn't it? Wheeler scored in the
You've
last
cursed them,
Yeah.
Tone,
Yeah.
you have.
Oh, wow.
Good.
So they're still second, though, with 2 points ahead of Ipswich, but Ipswich have got a game in hand. Coventry are 3 points behind with 2 games in hand. And then Oxford would have a bit of a hiccup.
Have they?
I rang Carl on Saturday night. I
What'd you
have
say to
no
him?
idea why.
Were you drunk?
Oh, very. That's what worries me.
Tell you who I seen Saturday,
no
speaking
idea
of
what I said to
idiots
him.
that
Was
are
he
drunk.
drunk?
I don't remember speaking to him. I was just looking at my phone and thinking, Carl Robinson. Why the fuck did I ring Carl?
Who's that?
Because usually it's random women that I ring.
Do you
But
know who I seen Saturday in the Cowshed Bar? Dan McCallum.
that's because I brought him to the game.
Did you bring him?
I brought him to the game. Yes.
Why did you bring Dan McAuliffe? Why did you bring him?
Because he thought it would be a good game to come back to.
Well, it was.
Yeah,
It's good to see him, I must admit. I mean, he looked alright.
Cost me my bring a friend for free on my season ticket, but what are you going to do?
What can you do?
What are you going to do?
I've still got that.
Yeah.
So if anyone wants
Have you
to come-
noticed how, I've not noticed this before, but apparently if you're a season ticket holder in Club Red, when you go and buy a second ticket, they knock off a £5 off the price? I didn't know about that.
Yeah, we get members price, and that's the same in any section.
Oh, okay.
So if you're a member and you live in and you sit in the couches. So if John came along and wanted
Hello,
to
it's me.
buy a friend a ticket, he'd get it at a members price, which is £17
Oh,
instead
well,
of
good for
22.
me.
Yeah, recently it used to be £2 for years. It was £2 off. Now it's a £5
That's
off.
really good. Why do we shout about it as an incentive to sell more season tickets?
Yes, Tony, why?
Because you don't want to sit and watch us play football. is the answer to that.
Oh, that's a shame.
Yeah. Hopefully, though, again, I've always said it, and it's absolutely 100% true. If you're winning, your crowds are bigger.
Oh, I was
It's
going to
as
tell
simple
you
as that.
about what the guy at work said. The Luton
Oh yeah,
supporter.
go on. Let's have a listen to your
He's,
his words of wisdom.
He's
this
actually
week.
alright, this bloke, but he is a Luton supporter. He's not one of the idiots. And his friend sponsored the game on Saturday.
Yeah.
So they had like a box, didn't they?
So that's funny
And-
already.
I went in Monday morning. We don't do a lot of work for him. It's just an occasional job, and he had an emergency job, so we went, and me and this other fella went and did it. And like, it goes, all right, Al, how's it going? Blah blah. He goes, yeah, fucking Wincombe. He's an idiot, that bloke. I said, is he? He goes, yeah, fucking hell. He only gave them 3,000 tickets, and I said, that's all they asked for, mate. Yeah, but he only gave them 3,000. I said, that's what they wanted, mate. I said, they asked for 3,000, and then when they asked for another couple of thousand, he gave them. Yeah, he's an idiot, that bloke. I said, fair enough. Just
Yeah,
unconscious
gave
bias,
them what they
yeah.
asked for,
and then they asked
what
for
they
more.
thought they would sell, and
he gave them
it turns out they were right. That is all they sold, which was a great surprise when you think that Wolves and Southampton and Coventry
10k to MK.
10k to MK,
Remember that?
which was 9,984 in the end.
So you couldn't even do
That's
it.
that's really annoying though. 9,984, 16 short.
Well, good luck to him.
Yeah. So yeah, to be fair, for a club that boasts about its away support compared to other clubs of similar stature, it's a bit shit. Sunderland.
How many did Portsmouth bring? Was about the same, wasn't it? 5,000.
5-4. I think Portsmouth.
They
brought.
bring more
Yeah.
than Sunderland.
Yeah.
They were a better support. I'm sorry if you're a Sunderland supporter, but
Yeah.
Portsmouth they're a better support than you.
Yeah, I think also that might have something to do with the fact that they're used to this level as well.
Yeah, I think Sunderland is still adjusting to this.
It was clear to me with the Portsmouth fans, and it would be the same with the Sunderland to a certain extent, but those Portsmouth fans that go to away games go to every single away game because it's so difficult to get a ticket. And although it wasn't difficult to get the ticket to come to our place for them, they still had a hell of a lot more turn up on the day than Sunderland did. So
Well,
yeah,
a bit nearer, isn't it?
for all
It's a
their
shit place to
boasting,
get
it's
to Sunderland,
it's a
isn't
long way away. But for fuck's
it's
sake,
fucking Sunderland, isn't it?
their support is massive. So.
that was a good goal their boy scored, so we talk
That
about
was
that.
an absolute
Well, that was
cracker.
the only difference between the two. When you look at the overall game, I think they had 5 shots on target. We had 1 again, which is disappointing. But the only thing that separated the two teams was a wonder goal.
Yeah, I mean, there was that goal line clearance. It was a bit of a scramble.
Oh,
but
he
I-
did make
Twice.
a save.
Twice, yeah.
And
He made a
good save
cracking
from
save
from
off a free kick, didn't he?
Yeah.
One-handed save, brilliant.
Well,
save,
I did point out because I was sat next to Mum and Kirsten, the secretary, and I said, oh, I hate this. She said, what? I said, Lee's standing sort of 2/3 to his left. I said, there's only one place this ball is going. And she said, how do you know that? I said, because even I could, from that far out, even I could get it over the wall. And it went, and she went, oh my, and she still had time to say, oh my God, you're right, before Lee got there.
That was a good
So
save,
I didn't
wasn't
think he was
it?
going to do that. So fair play to him. And obviously he knew that was likely, and you always try and tempt the striker or the person taking the kick into going for that area. But it's a fraction of a second later, and he's not getting there. So
Overall,
it's a risky game.
I was disappointed with the result because I thought if we'd gone in, if it had been a no-score draw, I reckon that would have been a fair result.
Talking to Lee,
Aye, go on.
there was a fairly lengthy thread on the concrete roundabout about his kicking, but there seem to be more people coming to his defence than there are slagging them off, which is a bit of a
I think his
turnaround.
kicking's better than Dave Martin's.
I don't think it's as good as Dave's. I think it's as good as. I think Dave was more accurate on the long ball.
Their guy, their goalkeeper, he had the oddest kick because his went straight as a die right down the centre of the pitch.
He had one kick, didn't
He
he?
had one that was really odd because it didn't move in mid-air. It just went straight, and you think that's odd.
My only gripe with Lee is his kind of decision making. Sometimes when he gets the ball, it's a bit indecisive. So
Well, we were
sometimes he stalls.
saying that there is that also something between him and Joe Walsh.
It's not quite right yet, is it? That?
It's not quite
And there was
there.
a bit of that Saturday as well, wasn't
And
there?
they need to decide who makes the decision, because you can't have two players dithering over a football when there's someone else wanting to take it off them. I spoke to Joe after the game. Actually, he seemed quite happy. I asked him what the changing room was like after the game, and he said obviously they were disappointed, but at the same time they were generally happy with the performance, and that taking that forward from there, as they have done in the last few weeks, it's looking good.
I wasn't too gutted about the result. I think for me it's more about the performance. I mean, on the Tisdale, sometimes it was a bit of a chore watching a game of football. Because
Sometimes.
I mean, I was saying that the only
we used to
reason-
sit in here, right, and we would swear to God we would always try and put a brave face on it, but
it gets to a point where you can't.
And I said, at the end of it, we just had to admit that we were crap.
I'm going to try and attempt to never miss a game at the stadium, but the only reason I went to the last few of Tisdale's games was out as a sense of duty.
And that's no good.
And that's no reason to go to a football match.
That's
really.
why, like, Ross and Dan stopped going, wasn't it? Because
there's them two as an example, but
they couldn't not go, and it got to the point where they couldn't do anything else except go, and that's when you got to stop doing it.
My missus hasn't been to the Burton game. She literally just says, I just kind of face just feelings of deflated afterwards. And then literally after Tranmere, obviously, when Tisdale went and then Ross took over, and a few games in, I said to her, look, just come along and have a look. And even she was amazed at the change.
The change was
this is what I said to Dan McCullough.
What did you say to him? Dan, get the drinks in.
I wanted to
punch him.
I wanted him to get. I wanted to punch him.
Obviously, goes without saying, eh?
I wanted him to come up to Burton with me when I was going to drive up, but he was on dry January and thought that
he went on dry January on
driving to a town that is effectively one giant brewery was probably not a good idea. But then asked me if he could go to Sunderland. So you never know. We might see. I mean, I can't ever see us getting Ross back.
Right.
Back to predictions.
So I've just slagged someone off there. Once again.
Predictions for. Actually, we could do predictions for Tuesday only, because we'll be back on Wednesday before the.
I reckon we'll win that.
I
don't know what we'll win it by. I'm going to go a comfortable 2-0 me.
I'm going to say something a bit weird now, but if the weather's fair,
which it is going to be,
if the weather's set fair, I think it will be a comfortable 2-0. Not surprising there from Tony. Artem?
I reckon it'll be a 2-1.
2-1. You're going to let them score?
Yeah, I reckon it's coming. I reckon the mishap between Walsh and Nicholls. It's just that's
the one, is it? That's the one, the predicted goal. Well, if it does happen, as long as it's on the wrong side of a scoreline that favours us.
Yeah, I don't mind. I don't want them to score. Better for the goal difference, obviously, because that's made a difference recently. But
and that's as we move further. I mean, we're not that far away from February, March. We're only thinking this is, we do need to start picking up 3 points.
But there's still 57 points to play for, isn't there? So
there is, and I remember that the championship season when we won the first day of the season against Rotherham, and Carl McFadzean jokingly said, "Only another 51 points to go, lads, so we'll be all right." Yeah, that didn't end well, did it? So,
do you think we'll stay up then, Artem, or do you think we'll?
I think we'll comfortably stay up. I reckon we'll finish
comfortably.
Yeah, no, I reckon we'll finish about 14th. I just think we've got a lot of quality in the squad now, and to be fair as well, I mean, realistically, we're only competing with a few teams around us, and Tranmere are crap at the minute. AFC aren't great, and obviously all the off the field.
Southend are going, haven't they?
Southend and Bolton are pretty much gone. I reckon we'll go on a good run. I reckon we'll win a couple in a row, and then before you know, we'll be sort of 14th, 15th. Where I think
that is between us, like Tranmere and AFC. I'd say for that third spot, and I reckon we've got enough to get.
And if we can start pulling away from that, because that gap above us is actually quite. It's not massive. I mean, Accrington 29, 1 point above Rochdale. But then it jumps to 34, 16 Shrewsbury. And that's 9 points.
Tired out. Sorry. Again, you're on a knee.
There's the two teams that are on 34 points have both got 2 games in hand on us. So you could be, you lose a couple more and they gain a few more points. I mean, if it ends up a scrap between 17th, Accrington, downwards, and we finish 17th, I'll take that at the moment. I wouldn't have said that before or certainly in October, November. But right now, if you gave me 17th, I think I'd be very happy with it. Very, very happy. And if we can get 14th, 15th, then that'll be massive. That will be hopefully a good springboard for next season as well. Because you're right, we have got the players, we've got the quality players.
I think it all depends as well if we keep them fit to the end of the season, because I mean we had a shocking period between sort of September to December.
Yeah.
With 4 strikers out, so if we keep everything fit, I reckon.
Yeah, and it's not that it's not like we were missing out on anybody of any. I mean, the players that were playing weren't really cutting it either, were they? So
I had my eye on goings on at Ibrox, Tony.
Oh yeah, how many are they winning by?
1-0, Jermaine Defoe.
Have you seen Kyle Lafferty?
Yeah, see him on Saturday.
I was just thinking. Can you imagine Lafferty and a disgruntled McGeady in the same changing room?
I've heard lots of things about McGeady actually.
Yeah.
Because
he's on his way out, isn't he?
Like
trying
Lafferty's
to run the place.
Got 5 stars tattooed in the back of his neck. He couldn't be any more Rangers. Yeah. He was one of the ones that, remember we said a couple of weeks ago when Gerrard had that game to see who was going to stay, he was the first one to go.
Yeah.
He's quite old now. He's been around forever, I feel. He's pushing 40, I think.
He's been around a bit, hasn't he?
Yeah.
He's playing in some shit place though, like Turkey or somewhere, wasn't he?
Right.
Been all over, hasn't he? Been all over.
Yeah.
There was a great picture of the bloke confessed to being a Celtic fan.
Who did?
Asking Lafferty for a selfie or a photo. And he's got his arm around Lafferty, and Lafferty's got a pint in his hand, and he's smiling at the camera. Unwittingly, this bloke's managed to somehow get his pants and his trousers down to his knees.
What, the Celtic supporter?
With his balls out, his cock out, having his photo taken with Carl Lafferty. Lafferty's none the wise. That's brilliant. It's just the way the bloke, he's got this cheesy grin on his face, and stood there.
He's a bumbling wolf, Kyle Lafferty. I mean, he was alright when he was at Rangers, but he's not a great player.
I felt he was good for Northern Ireland, but shit for Rangers.
Yeah.
Oh, there you go.
Right, speaking about shit, what have we done?
Yeah, so 2-0, 2-1 and a 2-0 for Rochdale. So we'll see how it goes.
You can have Saturday off, everyone.
Yeah, so
you can listen to this 4 or 5 times.
Actually, I might look at the fixture to see if there's a game I can
there's
get to.
nothing on.
I won't bother then. I'll just
FA Cup weekend, isn't it?
Yeah, but it's not
a
really
shit. Not even any games on the telly, is there? Not of old crap.
The BBC are fucking useless.
Yeah. Right, we're done.
Done. Thank you, Artem.
Cheers.
Cheers for coming.
If you want to,
give the email address and all that. Come on.
Not enlighten. Emulate. If you want to emulate Artem, mkdonsradioshow@gmail.com. Drop us a line. You can come on, chat shit with us all.
And Artem will tell you we're not scary or anything like that.
No, I thoroughly enjoyed it. I'd encourage anyone to come on. It's a good laugh.
Right. Say cheerio, Tony.
Cheerio, Tony. He was sat at the table with his head in his hands,
and it just
he'd already secretly rung his dad to come and pick him up anyway. And I'm going, don't worry, mate, don't worry. You can't keep up. It's fine. You're a bit of a fucking lightweight. Don't worry about it.